And Democratic Congresswoman Lamonica McIver of New Jersey is here for more on the State of the Union. Congresswoman, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So immigration and ICE are going to be a big topic tonight. In a congressional hearing earlier this month, you asked the acting ICE director if he thinks he's going to hell. You've also said the U.S. should abolish ICE altogether. So explain why you think that.
Well, one, we've seen the harm that ICE has caused. I mean, it's totally out of control. They're operating with a budget bigger than most countries' armies and doing harm with it. And so it's just been too much outrage, and no organization should continue on, or any agency, with the havoc that they've caused. And that's why I continue to call for ICE to be abolished.
So do we not need immigration enforcement in this country?
No, I absolutely think that we do. But remember, ICE is quite, new. It hasn't been around for, centuries. It's only come post 9/11. And so I think that there's reform that needs to happen, and we can talk about what agencies can pick up the task of ICE. But I do not think that an agency should be going around killing American citizens and behaving the way that they are. So at the end of the day, we have to have some reforms, and that starts with abolishing and, recreating an agency that would be operating effectively.
Are you concerned calls to abolish ICE could backfire on Democrats in the midterms?
No, not necessarily. I think that the American people see what has been happening with their own eyes. We don't have to paint a picture for them. I mean, Americans have seen, Americans killed in broad daylight by ICE officials. We've seen them terrorizing families, terrorizing people. And so they don't need Democrats to convince them of anything. That's why 60% of Americans right now do not approve of President Donald Trump, because of the outrageousness that they see right in front of their own eyes.
Yesterday, President Trump signed a proclamation declaring National Angel Family Day. One man whose brother was killed by an undocumented immigrant said President Trump understands what he's going through. And I want to play part of that moment for you.
I'm sick and tired of hearing these Democratic politicians stand up on these podiums and say how sorry they are for seeing these criminal illegal aliens being ripped apart from their families. What about us? What about the American family? What about us? We mean something too.
Congresswoman, what's your response to that?
Well, first of all, I want to offer my condolences to Mr. Jones for the loss of his brother, and anyone who, has lost a family member or been a victim of violence from someone who is undocumented here, or anyone for that matter here in the country. But at the end of the day, what we're dealing with the way that we're attacking immigration is not proper. We have many people who are behind bars and detention centers that have not committed not one crime. They are here, undocumented. Yes, they might have been here on a student visa or a work permit, but they haven't committed a crime. Not everyone detained is a criminal. And I think the way that the president is going about this is wrong. I agree. We do need to get criminals off the street. I'm not against that. I 100% agree with that. But it's the way that we go about doing it.
And Democrats are demanding immigration enforcement reform in order to end the partial government shutdown. How far are Democrats willing to take this fight?
Well, I think they're willing to take it as far as they need to, right? Our number one job is about protecting the American citizens that we are responsible for, that voted for us to do so. And I think we have to stand our ground on this. We need to have some accountability to ICE. There should be no government agency that operates without accountability. And right now, ICE and DHS are those two agencies that are doing so, literally by killing people and hurting them. And that is unacceptable. And so we have to have some guardrails for them so that we can protect the people that expect us to.
Our latest poll shows 60% of Americans disapprove of President Trump, but more people still trust him over Democrats in Congress to handle the country's problems. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think the American people are angry with both Republicans and Democrats, to be honest, right? There are a lot of issues right now facing Americans that need to be addressed, specifically around affordability. And I think if you're a mom in New Jersey, you're working multiple jobs, trying to make ends meet, trying to worry about your health care, trying to get groceries, you're really disappointed with Republicans and Democrats, to be honest with you, because you're thinking in your mind as an average voter, who can I trust into helping me with my situation? And I think that is many Americans right now. And that's why Democrats have to focus on the kitchen table issues that are impacting families in our country and really address those. And so I understand Americans' frustration right now. It is very difficult and a very difficult time right now.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger set to give the Democratic response to the State of the Union tonight. What do you want to hear from her?
Well, I hope to hear really some true criticism, right? For her to break down the facts of, about the president's speech, which many of us at this point can almost, anticipate the things that he's going to say. But also, I hope that she can deliver some inspiration and hope, which I'm confident in our new governor to do so to the people, because the Americans, we need inspiration. We need some re-energizing. Just how you mentioned, a lot of Americans are in between, not liking what Republicans are doing, but not trusting Democrats. And we really need to build up some real positive energy to, have the average American believe that, look, we're heading towards, some positivity. We're heading towards a better life for them. And so I really hope to hear that from our governor tonight.
All right, Democratic Congresswoman Lamonica McIver of New Jersey. We appreciate your time today, Congresswoman. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we will have special coverage of the State of the Union beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern on ABC News Live. And you can watch the address itself tonight at 9 Eastern on ABC.